See how we mirror though? I accentuate everything I do so that people can see. You don't need to go this wide. Hello, my name's James. I'm a portrait photographer from Portsmouth in the UK. You've probably not heard of me, and I welcome you to this my studio and the third of a series of 3 workshops. The evolution of style, from natural beauty to editorial glam. This is advanced workshop number 3, and we are looking at precision beauty, precision styling. That's how we're going to elevate this shoot from our intermediate level. Say hi to Zoe.
Hi Zoe.
Yes, hi Zoe. Zoe's here, and as you can see, Zoe looks a little bit different to the way that she looked in the last shoot. We've taken back the slick back hair and we've elevated it slightly by giving us this wet look styling of hair there, which has elevated the whole style of the shoot from the top. We've changed the makeup slightly to give us slightly more dewy skin, but slightly more gloss makeup in other areas, including smoky eyes. Come and have a look at Zoe's smoky eyes there. And we've taken off the red lipstick, which was the statement of the previous shot, and we've just blended all of the makeup in together so it works together as unison. Say thank you to our expert Fiona who did that. There she is. So by bringing in experts in their field, it gives us one less thing to worry about when we're doing these very high-end shoots. So if we are elevating the value, we want to bring on professionals and we want to bring on experts. And when you get to the very high end of fashion photography, you'll find that there are teams of people, including movement directors and creative directors who help along the way. I don't have a movement director, Zoe.
You don't?
No, I don't. I've just got me. What we're going to do is we're going to elevate the lighting though to match, and we're going to try and work within a 3 light setup here. I've got my brand new Elinchrom 3 up here. It has never taken a flash before. I've just taken a photograph of it with 0 flash units dialed in to the information of that. And I've just put this on a C-stand here so it can go over the top. So I've got a nice clean area to shoot through, no tripods in the way. It's on a bayonet arm over the top, and we've got the beauty dish that we used before. Very important to note that when we're using C-stands on bayonet arms, they are counterweighted so they don't just topple over mid-shoot and fall on your models or your makeup artists or your movement directors. So I've put a load of sandbags on the bottom here so that it's very difficult to lift, very difficult to move, but it won't fall over. We're going to move it super close to Zoe here because, as we've discussed before, we've created a mood board over here with all of the Vogue covers from well, not all of the Vogue covers from history, but some of the Vogue covers from history. And we noticed the majority of those are on plain light grey or white backgrounds because of the editorial approach. You need to put text on them, so the plainer they are, the more bold the text is on there, and the easier they are for people to pick off the shelf and go, oh, I want to read about that. So we're going to use our white wall here. Angling down this beauty dish from above is going to give us a nice butterfly lighting. It should be a nice strong contrasty butterfly lighting, but not overbearingly contrast. There's no grid on this beauty dish. I'm just going to let the light come out of it to see where it lands there. We're going to move it nice and close to Zoe. It's very, very high above Zoe there. We set a power setting on there, and we're going to see how that marries up with the settings that we've dialed into camera. But the power setting there, just above halfway, around about 4.0 on the Elinchrom scale, which goes up to around about 5.6 on that, starts at 0.1. Remember, Elinchrom likes to work on the decimal scale. You may have a light at home that works on the thirds scale of stops, 1/3 stop, 2/3 stop, all the way up to a full stop. On the decimal scale, a full stop is just exactly that. It is 10 points. So 1.0 is 1 stop, 2.0 would be another stop on top of that. We're going to take a test shot here, ISO 100, f8 and 1/160th of a second. And we're just going to see how Zoe looks on this white background with just a single light set up. 3, 2, 1, go, and relax. Just see how that looks with those settings dialed in there. And look at the strong, contrasty butterfly nature of the light, highlighting everything around there. It's a tiny, 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 tiny little bit hot there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dial it down by around about 0.4 on the scale there for Elinchrom, which is going to give us about 1/3 of a stop down. I'm going to take the same shot there to see how they compare. And this one here should not be quite so bright. There we go. Skin tones there are coming back. So we've still got that high-end gloss finish, but it's not as overexposed as it was in the first shot, and our shadow details and our shadow levels have come down there. What I'm going to do next is we're going to bring in some kicker lights there to really heighten this wet look styling and this wet look feel to the picture from either side. So if we take this light down here and we just move it to one side just so that we can turn it off, and then we're going to bring in these two kicker lights here. When we bring it in, they're going to come down roughly to the height of where Zoe's head is here, and angling away from that background wall so that there's no light on the background. And I'm going to pump the power up on these just a little bit above where my main light, where my beauty dish is. Bring them both roughly in the same position here and both at the same power, and we're just going to see how that affects this portrait here. So we'll take a quick portrait here, and what we should see is two kicker lights working either side of Zoe. They're not actually perfectly straight, so that was quality on my behalf. So I've just made some small tiny amendments there because attention to detail is super key. Every effect has a cause, every cause has an effect. So every time we move something a little bit, it's going to change the look and feel of the photo. I wanted these lights to look almost perfectly, well, not almost perfect, I want them to look exactly even as they shine across here as a backlight. 3, 2, 1, go, and let's just see how they look there. And we can see there that those backlights are way too powerful. They are obliterating the tonality either side there. So I'm just going to dial each of them down by about 2 stops there, and we'll just see how that's affected the portrait here. So we're going to take that shot again there for me, Zoe, perfectly as you are. 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. And there we go. Now far less spill, but I like the highlight nature of that backdrop. Now we're going to ask Zoe just to take a small step forward, and that gives us a tiny bit more space just to angle these backlights around towards us this way, so that the feathered edge of the light is now catching Zoe, and there's slightly less wraparound, so there's slightly more of a kicker style here. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's have a look at that one. There we go. And by using that feathered edge of the light, we've got much more precision, and it's the precision for this beauty lighting that we're looking for. So we're going to turn our main light on again. We're going to move it around, and we'll see now it's closer to Zoe because she took those 2 steps off the backdrop. So we now need to move that light to match the same distance that she moved from the backdrop there. Get it nice and straightened up. So we've got that perfect butterfly lighting coming down again straight onto Zoe. Perfect. Then we're going to have a look at how this shot now looks with all of the lights married up and working in unison together. That's perfect, Zoe. Nice pose in there for me if we can. 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. And there we go. Look at those kickers now. Elevating that gloss look, elevating that wet look to the hair, and making the whole picture bounce off of that slightly grey canvas. What we can do here now is we can switch lenses. So we're going to move from our 24 to 105, and we're going to put this one on here, my 70 to 200. I'm going to use the lens hood on the end to eliminate any flare coming from those backlights, or as much flare as possible from those backlights. And from here, you can see, as Zoe does a simple pose, all the way back here, I can get a head and shoulders shot there of Zoe with a nice high fashion look. There's a tiny little bit of bounce back coming from just underneath the chin. So I'm just going to move this light down just slightly, a very slight amendment, and move it just a little bit closer to Zoe there. So again, that feathered edge is just catching. Come this way just a little bit, and she's right in front there. We're going to retake that portrait again and go for even more dramatic lighting above. 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. There we go. And now every time you see a flash, you're just going to change the pose based on the mood board that we've put up previously for you, okay? Real simple. 3, 2, 1, go. 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 Now, that's a very simple guide to sort of flow posing there, just allowing the model to pick the poses and just saying go every time that we do it, okay? In order for communication to really, really elevate though, as a photographer, it's incumbent on me to communicate with Zoe when she does something that I think is really, really gonna sing in a shot and really, really sort of be cover worthy, okay? And we're gonna exhibit how we do that now. So exactly the same again there for me, Zoe. Same poses again. Keep working through them and then I'll communicate to you when I think we want to focus on one thing and one idea with a few simple things. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. I like that. Perfect. Now turn the shoulder this way there for me. That's nice. Perfect. Chin up just a fraction there for me. Perfect. Now really drop that hand and really move this shoulder forward there for me like that. That's nice. Over the shoulder towards me. 3, chin down. I like the chin up actually. Chin up was perfect. 3. Really move that shoulder around and away from me. Perfect. 3, 2. Looking down at the floor for me. 3, 2. Eyes to me, go. Turn the head slightly more towards me. There. And relax. Well done. And there we start to focus on ideas that can work within our mood board to get these styles of shot that elevate the whole brand and elevate the whole look and bring it all in unison. If we move ourselves closer now, I can work with Zoe nice and close here, and we're just going to do exactly the same again. So a few changes of pose. Go, go, go. Really posing, remember, starting from the feet up, so give yourself a nice wide base there for me. That's lovely. See how we mirror though. I accentuate everything I do so that people can see. You don't need to go this wide, but just like that for me. Perfect. Change it, change it, change it, change it. Perfect. Previous one with the hand here and turn the shoulder towards me. That's it, yeah, just like elbow out. Perfect. 3, hold that there. 2, switching to a longer focal length so that we're just getting head and shoulders. Looking off towards that light over there for me. 2, that's it, there's a good shot. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. And there, by changing the focal length, during the shoot, we can go from really powerful head and shoulder shots to great half length shots there. So that's how we evolve style from a simple budget, 1 light setup and a natural look to a 2 light setup that gives accents to styling within the shoot, to a 3 light setup that marries up everything in the shoot, from lighting to posing to hairstyling to makeup to the fashion itself. Zoe, how would you describe your evolution of style experience in 3 words?
Glamorous, editorial, beautiful.
Beautiful. If you've liked the video, say nice things. If you've enjoyed Zoe, say nice things, because that's the majority of comments under these videos. If you want to, you can visit nofussmus.com for your free posing guide, and we have 1 light, 2 light and 3 light workshops on there for you to learn the basics and the fundamentals of lighting to build up for what we're doing today. Say nice things, tell your other photographer friends, tell your other photographer friends all about it, and as ever, all the very best.